Welcome to a screencast to help you use Little Hawk Time Google Sheets this school year. We will use Google Sheets to track student movement during Little Hawk Time on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. When you open up your Google Sheet, you will see at the bottom that there are different tabs for each teacher. Please first find your tab and open up your Google Sheet. What you should find in column B is a list of your homeroom kids. Please double check that list to make sure that it is still correct. Since inputting those names, we have had additions to the school and students who have been dropped. If any students have dropped, please delete them. If you need to add a student for your homeroom roster, please do that as well. You will notice that we've color-coded by day, so column C, D, and E are for our Tuesday tracking. Column F, G, and H, blue, are for Wednesdays, and I, J, and K are yellow for Fridays. We'll come back to those shortly. Let's now look at column A. Everyone has a column A, and this is a column to let you know what students are requesting to see you. If I would conference with my homeroom kids on an advisory Monday and I find out that Ella Cook really needs to get some help from Mr. Bailey in American Studies. She's missed a quiz and a couple of assignments. I'm going to encourage Ella to reach out to Mr. Bailey as well, but I can also indicate to Mr. Bailey that Cook, Ella, would like to see him. It's best if you can put students' last name first and then their first name. That will help you when it's time to search in just a moment. If I want to indicate that to Mr. Bailey, I can simply put her name. If I'd like to insert a note there as well, I can do so by right-clicking, and I can go down here to insert comma or comment or insert note. I would prefer that we insert notes this year. We can click on there and I could say needs to make up quiz. And then Mr. Bailey will have that little black triangle there that he can see. And when he's ready to schedule her, he can schedule her. So if Mr. Bailey then would like to have Ella Cook come in, he is going to, let's say, request her on Tuesday. So what he would need to do is find Ella Cook's homeroom. Now, if he doesn't know that off the top of his head, there's a simple way to try to search for students in the Google Sheets. What you'll need to do is hit the Shift and the H at the same time. I'm going to try that again. I'm sorry, I just lied. Control H. Sorry, I was hitting the wrong button. When you hit Control H, this Find and Replace box should pop up for you. Like I said, we should input last names first to make it easy. I can type in Ella Cook, okay, making sure none of this is clicked in, and then we hit Find. Now it may take me here to my Bailey sheet, so if I'm not going to where I need to, we're going to click Find again, and here I found Ella Cook on Miss Bucknell's homeroom roster. Then, if Mr. Bailey would like to request Ella for Tuesday, he's going to write down Bailey, and then he's going to put his room number. Sorry, Mr. Bailey, I don't know your room number off the top of my head. I'm going to put room 236 just for now. So there we have that Ella Cook will be going to Mr. Bailey's room 236. And you can see Miss Bucknell now knows on Tuesday when she pulls up her sheets that Ella Cook won't be in homeroom or won't be in her homeroom because she should have reported to Mr. Bailey's room in room 236. Let's go back to Mr. Bailey's sheet. Now we just mentioned that Mr. Bailey has requested Ella Cook, so he's also going to put her name in column D, students I requested for Tuesday. Since he has requested her, my suggestion is to clear out her name right away. So you know, yep, I've scheduled that kid, I've taken care of it, we're good to go. Now Tuesday rolls around and Mr. Bailey's taking attendance. He's going to take attendance for his homeroom kids, but he's also going to take attendance for the kids that he's requested. How do we do that? Well, we're going to take attendance in column C. So Mr. Bailey will go down and just mark a P or an A if students are present with a P, A for absent. If a student has a teacher name next to them, he is not responsible for putting anything there because we are assuming that those students have actually gone to their requesting teacher. So I could go through and mark my attendance, present, present, present. Oh, this student seems to be absent, present. all the way down until I finish with my attendance. Now, if for some reason Oscar is sitting in Mr. Bailey's room and he's like, oh, you're supposed to be at Mr. Bockelman, then Bailey could say to Oscar, hey, Oscar, looks like Mr. Bockelman has requested you. You need to go to room 117. There is nothing wrong with projecting this on your smart board. There's no confidential information in here, and I think it's a great idea and reminder for kids when they come in, because we know they forget. So when Oscar walks in the room, he might see that, oh yeah, I'm supposed to go to Bockelman, and so he can be on his way to Mr. Bockelman. After Mr. Bailey gets it done with attendance in his home room, then he's also going to take attendance for the students he requested. If Ella shows up again, he'll mark it with a P. If she's absent, he'll mark it with an A. That way I can go through and cross-reference attendance and make sure students are where they need to be. That is the process for requesting students. And you would do the exact same system on a Wednesday or a Friday. Again, you'll mark attendance for your homeroom kids in column F. And any kids that you requested, you will mark attendance for them in column H for Wednesdays, and then the same process for Fridays. So again, there's a little kind of duplication here going on. Just a reminder that you need to input where you've requested students for that day, and you have to also go to that student's homeroom and input that you are wanting to request that student for whatever day that is. I want to talk about one more thing on the Google Sheets. Up here at the top, you can see that next to each day of the week, we have some subject areas or curricular areas indicated or listed. What those are for would be priority days. So oftentimes we have kids that are requested or need to see several teachers within a week. Obviously, having 8 different teachers, it's not possible for them to see every single teacher that week during Little Hawk time. So that's why we have priority days. Using Ella Cook as an example again, let's say that Ella is requested to see Mr. Bailey. She's requested to see Mr. Smith. She's requested to see Miss Arnone. Well, that's kind of a problem, and especially if they all wanted her on the same day or within the same week. So how can we try to schedule that? Well, on Tuesdays, if a social studies teacher was requesting Ella, they would have priority to have her. So on that Tuesday, Mr. Bailey would have priority, for example, over her science teacher, her math teacher, her art, or her foreign language. So Mr. Bailey would get that day. Now, if, for example, Mr. Bailey would come in and Miss Arnone has written her name down, and Mr. Bailey also needs to see Ella, and he wants to trump Dr. Arnone because it is his priority day, he can change that to Bailey, but he needs to let Miss or Dr. Arnone know that he has trumped her and is going to take Ella on Tuesday. And then that way, Dr. Arnone then can move her, hopefully, to Wednesday. And then Friday, maybe she wouldn't have any music, PE, ELL, or personal development teachers asking for her. So then Mr. Smith could have her for science on Friday. It's just really important to communicate with one another if you end up trumping somebody or taking a student because of a priority day. 2 ways to communicate that. You can communicate that, like I said, for an email, or you could also insert a note, again, saying, you know, Bailey trumped Arnone, and then it might not be a bad idea to go over to Miss Arnone's sheet, and if she had, you know, Ella Cook here, and inserting a note there just to say, you know, Bailey took due to priority day, just to help communicate that with one another so we know when one student has been trumped by one teacher. There's probably more ins and outs here that we could go over. I'm always available to help you if you have any questions. I know it can be cumbersome at first, but I think once you get the hang of it, you'll be good to go. Just a couple other things to look at as we scroll over here. Anytime there's enrichment or special activities going on, I will add a sheet for attendance for those. We have the Secret Soar staff. There's directions up there for you to see. So there is a tab there. There's a cell phone tab for you as well. So Dvorak and Miss Cook will talk a little bit more about how to use that. And the admin tab is not anything you'll need. I just want to give one reminder again, if you're searching for kids, wherever you are in the sheets, it's going to be Control H, Control H. This box will come up. You will type in the student's last name, then first name, and you'll hit Find. And again, if they're on there several areas or several places, if that's not where you want to find their homeroom, you just keep hitting Find until you've gone through all of the places on the sheets that students' names appear. But you will eventually find the place that you want. So if I'm looking for a homeroom, I found it. Maybe that's not what I want. I'm going to try, oh, there we go. I wanted to make sure that I had requested her. So again, Control H will be your best friend, and that Find button to find those students. Please let me know, like I said, you can email me or call on me to answer any additional questions about using Google Sheets, but hopefully this little tutorial will be helpful to you. Thank you.